In this video, I want to answer the question, what is a linear responsibility chart, or LRC? A linear responsibility chart ties your work breakdown structure, the tasks or activities you need to do on your project, to the resources that are going to do it, and in particular, the individuals, the people. In this example, you can see that a linear responsibility chart starts with a grid. We put our tasks or activities down the side, and we list our resources along the top. We then fill the grid with symbols that represent the role that each resource is going to play on their respective tasks. A linear responsibility chart is closely related to a RACI chart, except that it arranges the information in a slightly different way, although increasingly the linear responsibility chart format is being referred to as a RACI chart. Of course, with a linear responsibility chart, it's very easy to add additional resources onto the list and to define additional roles. Each role will have a different symbol or a different letter. Typical roles include responsibility for doing something, the person who's supervising a piece of work, or the actual person or people who are doing the work. There may be different kinds of experts involved in a task. Perhaps there are financial or technical or human resources experts. There may be people who need to be informed or consulted. And clearly there is always going to be a need for someone to sign off when a task is completed. Each of these different roles will have a different symbol, which may be a letter or a shape. I've always thought of the linear responsibility chart as my favourite project management tool. And for me, linear responsibility charts have 5 distinct benefits. The first is that it's very easy for each member of your project team to see what they're involved in and who they're working with. Each team member can read down the column with their name at the top and see the responsibilities they've got for each task. Secondly, it's very easy for me as project manager to look at each task and make sure that it's properly specified. Have I got someone who has clear supervisory responsibility? Do I have the right resources to work on it, the right experts to consult? Am I informing the right people? And do I have a clear point of authority to sign off the work when it's complete? Thirdly, I like it because it communicates very easily. It's easy to draw a linear responsibility chart without any complex technology. You just need a flip chart and a pen. Or you can do it very easily on a table in a tool like Word or Excel. And it's very easy for people to understand it. They only have to look at it for a very short while and they'll get it. Another reason I like it is its flexibility. It's easy to add on additional resources, and if you're also interested in non-human resources like materials or equipment, you can add them as separate columns too and record the resources you need against each of the tasks. It's also very flexible in terms of the roles that you can use. You can add as many roles as you like. All you need is a separate symbol for them. Your linear responsibility chart is also flexible in terms of the level of detail you go to. Whilst you can list down the side every single activity or task on the project, you can equally group your tasks into work packages or even work at a very high level, looking at your project as a small number of work streams. And for program managers, linear responsibility charts allow us to monitor all of our projects on one chart with our common resource pool across the top. And you can monitor your project either as single lines or as a small number of workstream lines. The fifth reason I particularly like the linear responsibility chart is it also allows us to do budget estimation for our project, because each resource will have a unit cost. Assigning a unit cost to each of your people or to each of the materials or assets that you're going to draw down on and then assigning, in the case of people, a time that they're going to need to spend on each task allows us to cross-multiply and calculate the time charge for each of our resources on the project, or indeed to add up across the rows to calculate the cost of each activity or task. And of course, it's very easy to do this on a spreadsheet and to come up with a straightforward project budget that you can work to. So for me, the linear responsibility chart really is a supreme project management tool, and one that I would advocate and recommend to any project manager.